Hello everyone, myself Professor Sanjay Bhargava once again welcoming to my YouTube channel Physics with Dr. Sanjay Bhargava. In this video on moving charges and magnetism part 2, we would be studying about Biot-Savart's law, the magnetic field due to a current element, magnetic field at the center of a plane coil, magnetic field due to a circular arc, and magnetic field on the axis of a circular loop. We begin with magnetic field due to a current loop, the Biot-Savart's law. The law is used to calculate the magnetic field due to a small current carrying elements. We consider a small current carrying element of length dl carrying a current I. So this represents a conductor. We take a small dl here which carries a current I. The magnetic field due to element dl carrying a current I at the point P depends on following. So हम यहाँ पर क्या कर रहे हैं, हम एक कंडक्टर लेते हैं जिसमें करंट I फ्लो करता है. इस करंट का एक छोटा करंट एलिमेंट dl लेते हैं. इस dl के कारण जो पॉइंट P पर मैग्नेटिक फील्ड dB है वो इन क्वांटिटीज पर डिपेंड करेगा. dB is proportional to I, that is the strength of the current. More is the strength of the current, more would be the value of a magnetic field. dB is directly proportional to dl, that is the length of the element. More is the length of the element, more would be the strength of magnetic field. dB is proportional to sine of angle theta, where theta is the angle between dl vector and r vector. Also, dB is proportional to 1 upon r square. R is the distance of point of observation from dl. More is the value of r, smaller would be the strength of the magnetic field. Combining all these, what we get is dB is proportional to I dl sin theta upon r square. इन सभी को अगर एक साथ कंबाइन कर लें तो हमें इक्वेशन मिलेगा dB proportional to I dl sin theta upon r square, और dB is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. प्रोपोर्शनैलिटी साइन को हटाने के लिए एक कांस्टेंट को हमें कम में लेना पड़ता है, और वो कांस्टेंट यहाँ पर mu 0 upon 4 pi. mu 0 is permeability of free space और वैक्यूम. इसका वैल्यू कितना होता है mu 0 का, 4 pi इंटू 10 रेज़ टू पावर -7 वेबर पर एम्पियर मीटर, और 4 pi इंटू 10 रेज़ टू पावर -7 टेस्ला मीटर पर एम्पियर. अब क्वेश्चन आता है, व्हाट इज परमिएबिलिटी? Permeability is nothing but a measure of ability of the medium to allow the magnetic field lines to pass through it. तो permeability क्या है? Ability of the medium, जिससे वो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड लाइंस को अपने अंदर से जाने देता है. So we define it as measure of the ability of the medium to allow the magnetic field lines to pass through it. Now we have another word called relative permeability, and that is defined as the ratio of permeability of medium to permeability of free space. Permeability of medium to permeability of free space. Different for different types of materials. So equation number 1 in vector form can be written as dB vector is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl vector cross r vector upon r cube, or can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl vector cross r cap upon r square. Now the question is how to calculate the direction of a magnetic field. The direction of magnetic field as per the rules of the cross product is perpendicular to the plane containing dl vector and r vector. Now we may have linear currents like straight conductors. So how do we calculate the direction of the magnetic field? Then we say hold the straight conductor with your right hand such that thumb points in the direction of current. Then the direction of the curling fingers provide the direction of magnetic field. The magnetic field lines for a straight conductor are concentric circles. So how did we say? We said the direction of the curling fingers will provide the direction of a magnetic field. The magnetic field lines for a straight conductor are concentric circles. So they would be concentric circles of increasing radius. Now we may have circular or the closed currents. Curl the fingers of the right hand in the direction of current, then the thumb points in the direction of magnetic field. The magnetic field lines for a circular coil are nearly straight lines passing through the center. तो आपके पास जो क्लोज करंट्स हैं, सर्कुलर करंट्स हैं, रेक्टेंगुलर करंट्स हैं, स्क्वायर करंट्स हैं, तो उन सब में मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का डायरेक्शन कैसे निकालेंगे? हमने बोला है कर्ल द फिंगर्स ऑफ द राइट हैंड इन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ करंट, मे बी क्लॉकवाइज और एंटी क्लॉकवाइज. देन द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द थंब, जो भी थंब का डायरेक्शन आएगा वो आपको मैग्नेटिक फील्ड का डायरेक्शन दे देगा. कोई भी सर्कुलर कॉइल है या क्लोज्ड कॉइल है, उनके मैग्नेटिक फील्ड लाइंस आर नियरली स्ट्रेट लाइंस पासिंग थ्रू द सेंटर. अब क्वेश्चन आता है हम मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को रिप्रेजेंट कैसे करें? तो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड को रिप्रेजेंट करने के हमारे पास दो अलग अलग तरीके हैं. एक जिसको हम बोलते हैं डॉट रिप्रेजेंटेशन और दूसरा जिसको हम बोलते हैं क्रॉस रिप्रेजेंटेशन. अगर आपको अपने फिगर में ऐसे डॉट नजर आते हैं तो व्हाट डज इट रिप्रेजेंट? इट रिप्रेजेंट मैग्नेटिक फील्ड परपेंडिकुलर टू द प्लेन ऑफ पेपर एंड अपवर्ड्स. और अगर क्रॉस नजर आता है तो इट रिप्रेजेंट्स मैग्नेटिक फील्ड परपेंडिकुलर टू द प्लेन ऑफ द पेपर एंड इनवर्ड्स. तो जिस पेपर पे आप लिखते हैं या तो उसके ऊपर की तरफ या फिर नीचे की तरफ. अब क्वेश्चन आता है क्या बायो-सावर्ट्स लॉ और इलेक्ट्रोस्टैटिक्स के कूलम्स लॉ में कोई सिमिलरिटी या डिफरेंसेस हैं? अगर हैं तो वी वुड लाइक टू कंपेयर देम. द फर्स्ट थिंग दैट वी विल लाइक टू डू इज वी विल लाइक टू कंपेयर सिमिलैरिटीज. बोथ आर लॉन्ग रेंज fields since both depend inversely on square of the distance from the source. Electric field is also proportional to 1 upon r square and B is also proportional to 1 upon r square. The principle of superposition applies to both the fields. That means the electric field and the magnetic field both obey the superposition principle. Both fields have vectors and therefore they obey the vector laws of addition, and that is superposition principle, which says that the total magnetic field of the electric field at a point would be equal to vector sum of the various electric fields or magnetic fields present at that point. The constant 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 gives the strength of electrical interaction, while the constant mu 0 upon 4 pi gives the strength of magnetic interaction. Epsilon 0 and mu 0 are related to each other. Epsilon 0 and mu 0. So I can multiply by 4 pi and divide by 4 pi. So what is the value of 4 pi epsilon 0? 1 upon 9 into 10 raised to power 9. And what is the value of mu 0 upon 4 pi? That is 10 raised to power minus 7. So this would be equal to 1 upon 3 into 10 raised to power 8 ka whole square. So 3 into 10 raised to power 8 is nothing but the speed of light. So we write it as 1 upon c square. And c would be equal to 1 upon under root mu 0 epsilon 0. What are the dissimilarities between the electric and the magnetic fields? The electrostatic field is produced by a scalar source, that is the charge. The magnetic field is produced by a vector source I dl. The electrostatic field along the displacement vector r, joining the source and the field point. The magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane containing the displacement vector r and the current element IDL. So when it comes to the directions, then also we find a big difference between them. The electrostatic field is always along the direction of displacement vector r. R means vector which would be joining source charge to the field point, while the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane containing displacement vector r and the current element IDL. There is an angle dependence in Biot-Savart's law. We find sine theta to be present in the law, whereas there is no such dependence in the Coulomb's law. The magnetic field intensity at any point in the direction of dl is 0. Here theta is equal to 0, so sine 0 would also be 0. Now we would like to apply Biot-Savart's law for various cases. The first one we pick up is magnetic field at the center of a plane circular coil. So here we have a plane circular coil of radius r carrying a current I in anti-clockwise direction. We can imagine a small dl here. The direction of dl vector would be given by the direction of the tangent at this point. So what we do is we consider a circular coil of radius r with center O lying in the plane of paper. The coil has n turns and each turn carries a current I. तो आपने एक कॉइल को लिया है जिसका रेडियस r है, सेंटर O है, जो प्लेन ऑफ द पेपर में रखा हुआ है. इस कॉइल के अंदर नंबर ऑफ टर्न्स n है और हर एक टर्न में जो करंट फ्लो करता है उसका वैल्यू है I. We consider an element dl vector of the coil. If dB is a magnetic field due to dl at O, then dB would be equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. Now here r and dl in the above figure are perpendicular to each other. One is along the radius and one is along the tangent. So the angle here is pi by 2. So we use theta as pi by 2. If theta is pi by 2, definitely sin pi by 2 would be equal to 1. So dB can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon r square. Magnetic field due to one circular turn of the coil. कॉइल के एक सर्कुलर टर्न के कारण मैग्नेटिक फील्ड B would be equal to integration of dB. Mu 0 I upon 4 pi r square is a constant, so integration of dl, and the minimum value of dl is 0 and the maximum value is equal to the circumference. So mu 0 I upon 4 pi r square into 2 pi r, so I get the result mu 0 I upon 2r. If the coil has n turns, then this field would be multiplied by n to obtain the resultant field. So that is what we have written. For a coil with n turns, B would be equal to mu 0 Ni upon 2r. How to calculate the direction? The direction can be calculated by the right hand rule. The direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper and upward. So how do we do it? We curl the fingers of the right hand in the direction of current. Thumb points vertically upward, and that gives me the direction as perpendicular to the plane of paper and upwards. In presence of medium of permeability mu, so mu 0 can be replaced by mu. So the new magnetic field would be mu Ni upon 2r. In terms of relative permeability, because relative permeability can be written as mu upon mu naught. So mu can be replaced by mu 0 mu r. Magnetic field then needs to be calculated for a circular arc. This is our second application of the Biot-Savart's law. Magnetic field due to a circular arc. So we have a circular arc AB of length dl and radius r through which a current I is flowing. तो यहाँ पर आपने एक आर्क लिया है AB जिसकी लेंथ को आपने लिया है dl और उसमें से करंट I एंटी क्लॉकवाइज डायरेक्शन में फ्लो करता है. ये जो आर्क ए बी है वो सेंटर पर एक एंगल सबटेंड करता है और उस एंगल को हमने बोला है अल्फा. नाउ व्हाट डज द बायो-सावर्ट्स लॉ से? द मैग्नेटिक फील्ड ड्यू टू दिस करंट एलिमेंट dl must be equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl sin theta upon r square. So this is as per Biot-Savart's law. In our case, once again, theta would be pi by 2 and sin pi by 2 would be equal to 1. So dB can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon r square. Now what does the figure say? Angle can always be defined as the ratio of arc upon radius. So it is arc AB upon radius r. So it would be dl upon r. So this equation can be rewritten as mu 0 I upon 4 pi r dl upon r. And instead of dl upon r, I can write angle alpha. So what is the magnetic field due to a circular arc? The magnetic field due to circular arc dB would be equal to mu 0 I upon 4 pi r angle alpha. Alpha is supposed to be in radian. The direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the paper and upwards. Once again determined with the help of right hand thumb rule, where we say curl the fingers of the right hand in the direction of current, then the thumb gives the direction of magnetic field. Now as the third application, we pick up magnetic field on the axis of a circular current loop. So we have a circular loop which carries a steady current I in anti-clockwise direction. The loop is placed in YZ plane with the center at the origin and radius r. X-axis is the axis of the loop. This is what is shown in the figure here. So we have a loop here which has been placed in the YZ plane. O is the center of the loop and x-axis passes through center of the loop. It works as axis of loop. What we want is, we want to calculate magnetic field at point P, which is at a distance x from the center O of the loop. Now what we consider is, we consider a conducting element dl of the loop. The magnetic field due to dl at the point P as given by the Biot-Savart's law is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl vector cross r vector upon r cube. Here r square would be equal to x square plus capital R square. From the figure, dl is in the YZ plane while r is in the XY plane. So they are perpendicular to each other. So dl cross r must be equal to r dl. Theta is 90, so sin 90 would be 1. So dB now can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon r square, which can be written as mu 0 upon 4 pi I dl upon x square plus r square. The direction of the magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane formed by dl and r. dB has an x component delta bx and a y component perpendicular to x-axis, that is dB perpendicular. So magnetic field dB has two components. One is dBx along the x-axis and one is dB perpendicular, that is perpendicular to x-axis. So we have two components here. The perpendicular components, when summed over, cancel out. The diametrically opposite components, they cancel each other. Only the x components remain. So the net contribution along the x direction is obtained by integrating dBx is equal to dB cos theta over the entire loop, because perpendicular components have cancelled themselves out. From the figure, I can calculate cos theta and it would be equal to r upon x square plus r square power half. So dBx can be written as mu 0 I dl upon 4 pi, and instead of cos theta, r upon x square plus r square power now becomes 3 by 2. Now magnetic field at point P due to the entire circular loop Bx is obtained by integration of dBx. Integration of dl from minimum value 0 to a maximum value equal to the circumference, that is 2 pi r. So Bx would be equal to mu 0 I r 4 pi x square plus r square 3 by 2, and the integration yields 2 pi r. So mu 0 I r square upon 2 bracket में x square plus r square power 3 by 2. The direction of the magnet, including the direction of the magnetic field, what we get is B vector would be equal to I of Bx. This would be equal to mu 0 I r square upon 2 x square plus r square power 3 by 2 I cap. I cap gives the direction of magnetic field. Now, a special case. We get field at the center of the coil by putting x is equal to 0. So once I put x is equal to 0, what will happen? The denominator put x is equal to 0. So if I put x is equal to 0, this would be r square power 3 by 2, that is r cube. Cancels with r square, so 1 r would remain in the denominator. So B0 would be equal to mu 0 I upon 2r I cap. This is same as the magnetic field at the center of the plane coil. The magnetic field lines due to circular wire form closed loops. The direction of magnetic field is given by right hand thumb rule. The upper side of the loop may be thought of as north pole and the lower side as the south pole of the magnet. Variation of magnetic field with axial distance x. The magnetic field is maximum at the center of the coil, because when I say x is very much greater than r, then what do I find? R square can be neglected in comparison of x square, so this r square becomes negligible. So B can be written as mu 0 I r square upon twice x cube. You can multiply and divide by 2 pi. So it would be mu 0 2 into pi r square into I upon 4 pi x cube. So constant is mu 0 upon 4 pi twice IA upon x cube, which can be written as B is equal to mu 0 upon 4 pi 2m upon x cube, where m is now I into A is called the magnetic dipole moment. So what can we conclude? We can say when the point of observation lies at a large distance from the coil, then coil behaves like a magnetic dipole with dipole moment I into A. What can be the unit of dipole moment? Ampere meter square. And what can be the dimension? M0 L2 T0 ampere power 1. That means if the point of observation is at a very large distance from the center of the coil, then the coil behaves as a magnetic dipole. One end of the coil behaving as a north pole and the other end behaving like a dipole. Now another case, if x equals n times r, then the magnetic field at the axial point is given by mu 0 I upon r square 2 into r square plus x square power 3 by 2. Now x can be written as n times r. So n square r square. Take r square common. R square power 3 by 2 would be r cube. So mu 0 I r square upon 2 r cube 1 plus n square power 3 by 2. That is mu 0 I upon 2 r 1 plus n square power 3 by 2. And this is nothing but magnetic field at the center of the coil. So it would be BC upon 1 plus n square power 3 by 2. Now we pick certain examples just to find out how well we have understood Biot-Savart's law and its applications. Example number 1. Find the magnetic field at the point O due to a wire of a given shape through which a current I is flowing. The total magnetic field at the point B would be given by magnetic field due to part of the coil A, B and C. Point O lies along the length of the part A and C. So magnetic field BA and BC would be equal to 0. Also B, magnetic field due to part B, mu 0 I upon 2R, field due to semicircular arc, because magnetic field due to arc would be equal to mu 0 I upon R into alpha. And remember, alpha is pi by 2. Correct? Alpha is pi. So mu 0 upon 4 pi is the constant, I upon R alpha, and put alpha as 180, which will give you mu 0 I upon 4R. So we are utilizing this. The magnetic field due to part B acts perpendicular to the plane of the paper and inwards. So we mark the direction by a cross. A straight wire of length pi by 2 meter is bent into a circular shape. If the wire is to carry a current of 5 ampere, calculate the magnetic field due to it before bending at a point distant 0.01 times the radius of the circle formed from it. Also calculate the magnetic field at the center of the circular loop formed for the same value of current. Here is bent into a circular shape. So 2 pi r, the circumference must be equal to length of the wire. This gives me radius of the wire as 0.25 meter. Now before bending, we can calculate what would be the magnetic field due to a straight wire. It is mu 0 upon 4 pi 2i upon r, and r is equal to 0.01 times the radius. So mu 0 upon 4 pi 10 raised to power minus 7, 2, 5 is the current, 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 3. So the magnetic field due to straight conductor comes out as 4 into 10 raised to power minus 4 Tesla. Now what would be the magnetic field at the center of the circular loop? Mu 0 upon 4 pi 2 pi I upon r. That is 10 raised to power minus 7, 2 into 3.4 into 5 upon 0.25. That is 1.256 into 10 raised to power minus 5 Tesla. Now example number 3. Two coaxial circular loops L1 and L2 of radius 3 cm and 4 cm are placed in the figure. What should be the magnitude and direction of the current in the loop L2 so that the net magnetic field at the point O becomes 0? Net field at the point O, that is B, must be equal to 0. B1 is the magnetic field due to the first coil and B2 must be the magnetic field due to the second coil. Both the magnetic fields must be equal and opposite. So the current I2 in the loop L2 should flow opposite to that of I1, so that it makes or generates a magnetic field in opposite direction. Both the magnetic fields are supposed to be equal in magnitude. So B2 would be equal to B1. So I can write mu 0 I2 R2 ka square upon 2 R2 ka square plus X2 ka square power 3 by 2 is equal to mu 0 I1 R1 ka square upon 2 R1 ka square plus X1 ka square power 3 by 2. So I need to calculate I2. I2 would be equal to I1 times R1 upon R2 ka whole square, R2 ka square plus X2 ka square upon R1 ka square plus X1 ka square power 3 by 2. Substitute all the quantities that are given. I1 is 1 ampere, R1 is 3 into 10 raised to power minus 2 meter, R2 is 4 into 10 raised to power minus 2 meter, then R2 ka square, X2 is 3 into 10 raised to power minus 2 ka whole square, R1 is 3 into 10 raised to power minus 2 uska whole square, and X1 is 4 into 10 raised to power minus 2 ka whole square. So I2 comes out as 9 by 16, that is 0.56 ampere. Example number 4. The wire in the figure carries a current 10 ampere. Determine the magnitude of magnetic field at the center O, given radius of the bent coil is 3 cm. The magnetic field at the center, mu 0 upon 4 pi I upon r alpha. And what is the value of alpha here? The alpha angle is 3 pi by 2. So I get here as pi by 2 into 10 raised to power minus 4 Tesla. That is 1.57 into 10 raised to power minus 4 Tesla. Example number is 5. The radius of the first orbit of hydrogen atom is 0.5 ampere. The electron moves in an orbit with a uniform speed of 2.2 into 10 raised to power 6 meter per second. What is the magnetic field produced at the center of the nucleus due to the motion of this electron? Use mu 0 upon 4 pi s 10 raised to power minus 7 and charge E equals 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19 coulomb. The time period of revolution is 2 pi r upon v. So substitute the value of radius and velocity and we obtain time period as 1 by 7 into 10 raised to power minus 15 second. Now equivalent current is E upon T. So 1.6 into 10 raised to power minus 19, 7 upon 10 raised to power minus 15 gives 1.12 into 10 raised to power 3 minus 3 ampere is the value of current. So what would be the value of magnetic field? Mu 0 I upon 2r. Mu 0 is 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7, current already calculated as 1.12 into 10 raised to power minus 3, 2, and r is 0.5 into 10 raised to power minus 10. The magnetic field is 14.07 Tesla. Now another example number is 6. A solenoid made by closely winding a wire of radius 0.5 mm over a cylindrical non-magnetic frame so that the successive turns nearly touch each other. What will be the magnetic field at the center of solenoid if the current of 5 ampere flows through it? Now what is the diameter of the wire? Is 1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter. Since wire is closely wound, so number of turns per meter would be equal to 1 meter upon 1 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter. That is 1000. Magnetic field would be equal to B is equal to mu 0 Ni, and that is 4 pi into 10 raised to power minus 7, 1005, and that gives me as 6.28 into 10 raised to power minus 3 Tesla. Then the last example here, 7. The magnetic moments associated with the two closely wound circular coils A and B of radii Ra equals 10 cm and Rb 20 cm respectively are equal in what condition? So what we select is number of turns in coil A, Na, number of current in coil A, Ia, number of turns in coil B, Nb, and current in coil B, Ib. Magnetic moment M is equal to Nia. The magnetic moments are supposed to be equal. So Na, Ia, Aa must be equal to Nb, Ib, Ab. Aa, area of the first coil and area of the second coil. So I obtain Na, Ia must be equal to 4 times Nb, Ib. This is the condition which will make the magnetic moments equal. Hope this video just clears the concept of Biot-Savart's law and its application. If you are unable to understand physics through our videos, then you are requested to please like and subscribe them. You are supposed to comment for any requirement of the subject. You are requested to subscribe so that you get notification of the future videos anytime. Thank you all.